Yes. Hello, everyone. I'm Ezgi Ayyıldız.
I'm Tom Sneyders.
I'm Gökhan Yarar.
And our project is called Reviving by Populating. Now, we started our project by thinking about what was really for us the main problem of the islands. And we noticed that there are, first of all, too few permanent residents, which makes that the difference between summer and winter is too big in terms of economy and also in terms of population. And secondly, a large number of these permanent residents are elderly people. So we looked what we could do to change this difference between the two big seasons. And we defined to change the demography of the islands. And this by two strategies. So first of all, to attract and bring remote workers and digital nomads to the islands. But our main target group are the remote workers because they are the ones who will become permanent residents. And the digital nomads, on the other hand, they only will stay for a couple of months and afterwards they will move somewhere else. So we defined actually a circular strategy for this, which starts with the attracting of the remote workers so that they move to the islands. With the growth of this population, there will be more tax income, which will be a chance to create more infrastructure for the whole islands. Because now all of the money that Adalar gets from Istanbul mainland has to go into facilities for the tourists and not for the locals. So the island needs more infrastructure, and this infrastructure can be financed with the extra tax income generated by the newcomers. And this will assure a better quality of life for the whole island, so for both the local people as for the newcomers. And to get more information about the remote workers, we made a statistic analysis of the remote workers, and we compared the amount of remote workers of the world with that one of Turkey. And we saw that Turkey is really running behind on other countries because in 2020, for example, only 3% of Turkey worked remotely in comparison with the European countries, with an average percentage of circa 12%. And with the pandemic age we are living in, we see a big potential for Turkey having more remote workers, and especially in a few sectors like media and advertising, services, technology, e-commerce, energy, and production.
According to inferences we made from our analysis, we thought that changing the demography of Büyükada would contribute to development of the islands and solve its problems. We recommend that young intellectuals settle on Büyükada and conduct their work from here. This proposal will stimulate winter life on the islands and improve its economy and contribute to the elderly population living on the islands. To attract remote workers to Büyükada, the first things that needs to create it is a remote working brand. There will be a virtual and physical marketing to get the word out. We provide a network of co-working and private workspaces. The map finder on Büyükada makes sure we can check the availability of these places and also rent them. We want to feel part of the new community. That's why it's important to have a robust social network. This can be established by organizing events between residents and newcomers. We aim to create an environment where young newcomers will benefit from the experience and knowledge of the elderly while running their business in Büyükada. By creating activities and working spaces that will strengthen this environment, we enable young newcomers to establish and grow their businesses. In addition, the elderly will be included in these works and will be able to generate income for themselves. Thus, the elderly will be reintegrated into society.
Now, this exchange of knowledge can happen during the situation that gets created by our proposals. And we propose social meetups, co-living, co-working, and co-producing. Now, looking at the organized events, we see almost all of them happen during the summer months. And during winter, there are almost no events because there's only limited inside communal space. There's only one sport event, for example, on Büyükada, so there really is an unfulfilled potential. And it's important for newcomers that there are events happening all year, so we want to add more to the ones that are currently being held. So we offer some facilities for both local people and the newcomers together. And this will be organized on the important and underused public spaces of the islands, like on the Phaeton Square, for example, where could be organized a theater festival, or for example, the Çınar Square by organizing a picnic events. Another event could be a swimming competition, which could be held at Dilburnu, or even an exhibition, for example, on the Luna Park Square. The existing sport clubs could offer the inside space to also organize events during the winter. And this will cause for a permanent use instead of a temporary use for these sports clubs. When organizing these events, like picnic, exhibition, network events, or workshops, we can make use of the wooden structures of the active open space group, because they provide structures which can fit easily onto the public spaces. And they are namely movable, deconstructible, and also applicable to the different activities. And here you can see an example of an exhibition. Another event that could be organized is a Christmas market. And the island has a big cultural diversity, and organizing a Christmas market could be a good opportunity to bring these people of different cultures and religions together. It will also create a chance for the local people, because they get, for example, the opportunity to sell their own local products, and at the same time, the newcomers can get a chance to know more about the culture and the local people.
When we want to attract new residents to the island, there will be a big ask for housing. So we provide a strategy to offer affordable housing. Looking at Hepsiemlak, we found that on Büyükada, 458 houses are for sale or rent. After analyzing these houses, we divided them into 3 typologies: townhouse, detached house, and vacation mansion. For these typologies, we created 2 strategies: aging in place and sustainable renovation. So detached and townhouses are mostly underused houses. Due to urbanization and the younger generation leaving Büyükada, large parts of these houses are empty. Elderly people mostly only use the ground floor. The houses can be divided into units to assure multi-generational co-living. The newcomers pay rent to the elderly in exchange for living in an authentic home. They also offer social security to the elderly. They can support them in daily activities like, for example, going to the store. And in exchange, the elderly can teach about the norms and cultural values on the island to assure they won't disappear. So it's an opportunity to secure aging in place and let the elderly live as long as possible inside their own homes. So there's a mutual benefit. When we look at the detached houses and vacation mansions, we notice they consist out of multiple levels and are mostly very expensive, too expensive for newcomers to afford. Since the buildings are already well equipped to suit future housing needs, it would be possible to divide the space into multiple units, and these housing units can be rented or sold to newcomers, and financial profits of this are again used to renovate and maintain these houses. It would also be possible to include a unique co-working space in the renovation and rent it out. These strategies surely involve some renovating, and here we can link back to the circularity group. There will be some demolishing, and these materials will go to the recycle center, and after this process end up in the material hub. Also, the material hub will provide the necessary materials to renovate the houses. And remote workers don't want to work from home all the time, and that's why we will provide a network of co-work spaces where they could work and a strong internet connection is assured. For these co-work spaces, we want to use the underused buildings on the island and reactivate them, like, for example, the Iskele. Since the municipality already owns this building, the only cost would be the renovation. These places can really benefit the entire community because all the surrounding businesses will also benefit from the workers coming here. And the offices can also be combined with other services like a bookshop or a coffee shop.
We want to visualize the co-production environments and give an example as follows. The environments we are trying to create in Büyükada is about learning, experiencing, and sharing. Newcomers can use the island's agricultural features and establish new businesses. This co-production process can create an educational environment by bringing together those who are interested in workshops that experts can organize. For example, new businesses can be formed with the lavender grown on the islands. These businesses can be a source of income for the old and young residents of the islands. Also, these businesses can easily grow with the support of chemists, agricultural engineers, agronomists, and interested people who come to the islands. The communication and organization are quite important for the co-working brand in this sharing environment. The mobile application of Büyükada is one of the crucial things to provide this environment more comfortable and innovative. Islanders can use this application to communicate with each other and find a working place on the islands. Also, they can use this application to network collaborators in terms of their expertise and occupation. On the other hand, the newcomers, such as software designers, mobile application developers, can operate this mobile application and improve it through user interface experience designers. Büyükada is a culturally diverse place, thus it contains many flavors in terms of cuisine. Many gastronomic events can be organized for the preservation and promotion of historical tastes. These events offer a great experience for newcomers to their new style on the new lifestyle on the island. Workshops and tasting events create a collaborative environments for locals and newcomers. It allows the locals of the islands to transfer their experiences and recipes to the new generations. And at the same time, newcomers create new businesses and meet the increasing food needs on the islands. Influencers, brand designers, event managers can contribute to these environments by creating gastronomic events.
As we already mentioned in the first presentation, currently there's a mono economy on Büyükada. Tourists come to the island, spend a day at the beach club, walk or bike around in nature, and enjoy one of the restaurants. Since most of the business owners don't live on the island, there's economic leakage because the money just goes back to the mainland. But with the arrival of remote workers, new economies like construction, office renting, gardening, food delivery, and so on will be created. People on the island won't only depend on tourists anymore. So again, it becomes a more attractive place to live, and the need for younger people to leave the island decreases. To help you understand how a day in our life on Büyükada will look like, we created 3 possible ways of spending a day at the island in the future. So in the morning at 8:30, I join the others for an outdoor workout session in the forest. After this, I will go to one of the cafes in the center to work while enjoying the great view. At 2, some friends of Istanbul mainland come over to go on a bike tour around the island. At 6:30, the food I ordered arrives by bike messenger, so I can join the social meetup event at Luna Park at 7:30. The next day, I check my calendar and see I have Zoom meeting planned at 9:30. I use the Büyükada app to search and rent private workspace. After the Zoom meeting, I meet up with some people for lunch in one of the new communal spaces. Here, they ask me to join them in their co-working space, and after it, we end the workday with a refreshing swim in the sea. Another day, I wake up and go for an inspiring morning walk in the forest. Afterwards, I start working from home because I have a lunch meeting in the center at 12:30. After this meeting, I meet up with some of the elderly people to give them a workshop about Zoom. This way, they can stay in contact with their family from the mainland. When walking to the store, I meet my neighbor and ask him if I can bring something from the store. In the evening, the residents of the island meet up for a concert with a beautiful backdrop. Thank you for your attention. This was our presentation.